Hey YouTubeverse, it's your girl So Red. I'm on here today. This is gonna be quick. Well, I'm not gonna say quick, but this is very impromptu. And today I'm just discussing my my lock journey, my hair journey. So stick with me and I'll tell you exactly how I started my locks, the reason for starting my locks, what I do to maintain my locks, and some of the lock influencers that I follow on YouTube, because I really don't subscribe to any other social media other than YouTube. So first, let's start with how I began. So it began in April of 2020. My current employer, as you all know, 2020 was the year of the pandemic. My current employer sent us all home like the third week or second week of March. I can't remember. I have to look through my emails, but it was very early on. Beginning of March, we all were working from home and continued to work from home for 2 years. I don't think we returned to the office until March of 2022. Yeah, that's when we returned to the office on a hybrid schedule. So long story short, I was bored and I had always wanted to start locks, but I was scared of my lips dry. I was scared of going or the ugly part of the journey, which I'm glad that I found a community on YouTube, because a lot of people correct that and say that's not an ugly phase. And now that I know more about it, it's not an ugly phase. It's part of the journey. It may not be the prettiest part or your most favorite part, but it's definitely part of the journey. Now, this is where my editing skills are going to come into play, because I'm going to try to insert pictures as I talk about my hair journey. If it doesn't go that way, y'all, don't put the pitchforks away. Put the pitchforks away. But what I'm telling you is I'm going to try to add pictures. I'm not making promises. Long story short, my hair was not long to begin with, so I didn't have to cut, and my hair was already natural. I haven't had a relaxer, so I am a 90s. I grew up through the 90s era. I consider myself a 90s girl. So I come from the era of the Toni Braxton, the T-Boz haircut, and I had all of those hairstyles. Yes, I did. And they require for your hair to be relaxed, or as my cousin likes to say, dyed, fried, laid to the side, something like that. So anyway, my hair was already natural. So prior to starting my locks in 2020, I had already been natural since 2009. So a little over 10 years, maybe 11 years. So my hair was good and natural. And like I said, the pandemic started. We were working from home. I was bored. And I was like, I'm gonna start locks, and hopefully they won't call us back to work soon, so I can get through the ugly phase at home, or what I perceived to be the ugly phase. So I two-strand twisted my hair, and first of all, I am guilty. I love to put my hands in my hair. I'm trying so hard now, and it's not because my scalp itch, because my scalp is clean, my hair is clean. I wash my hair once a week with Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap. I just like the way my hair feels. I like the texture of my hair. I enjoy the texture of coarse hair, and I do not use the N-word here. The N-word being nappy, because that has negative connotations to me. It has a racist connotation. You can do what you want. Sometimes I do slip up and use it, but for the most part, I try not to. Especially when referring to my own hair and the hair of others who also have hair texture like mine. Our hair is not nappy. There's nothing negative about it. It's curlier and coarser than others. That is all. Period. So, as I was saying, I two-strand twisted my hair. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't even part my hair, I don't think. Not really good straight parts. Not like took a comb and part. No, I didn't even do that. I literally was parting with my fingers, or just very haphazard. I don't know if you can tell from looking, but I don't have any real defined parts in my hair. I don't have squares. I don't have a grid. I think that's what it's called, a grid. I don't have a grid because I didn't follow one. I literally freestyled it because I wanted my locks to look as freeform as possible, but I really didn't want the freeform look. I don't know if that makes sense. If it doesn't, oh well. If it do, we here. Okay, but so I didn't part my hair. I just 2-strand twisted it, and I messed with my hair. I was always had my fingers in my hair. I thought they were going to come out simply because I was just always had my hand in my hair. Couple times I did have to retwist because I do have fine hair, so some of the twists did come apart. I didn't get discouraged. I'm gonna tell y'all what I was most concerned with, and I know this is gonna sound. So when I started my locks, I'm in my 40s. I won't say my exact age, but I was in my 40s, and I was really concerned that members of the opposite sex, men, wouldn't find me attractive with my hair natural or my hair in locks, because even when my hair was natural, I still from time to time wore hair weaves, hair pieces. I'll try to insert some other pictures just so you can get a better idea of what I'm referring to. And by the way, y'all, please pardon the shine on my face. If I look greasy, it's because I've been slugging, I think is what it's called, or I call it slathering. My mama used to do it to me when I was a kid, which is take a scoop of Vaseline and slather your face in it. And that's because I'm in Michigan. It is extremely cold. It's gonna be cold as hell all this week. This works for my skin. Don't critique me, critique your mama. I don't want to hear it. Vaseline is good for you, bad for your skin. I'm in my 40s and I've been using Vaseline all my life, and this is what keeps my skin from getting dry and irritated. And I felt my face getting dry and irritated because it was red and was starting to bump up. That means my skin is getting dry. I've been drinking as much water as I can possibly tolerate to keep running to the bathroom all day, but it's also just the winter time and my skin gets really dry in the winter time. So if I look especially greasy and oily, chalk it up to the Vaseline. Anywho, I forgot where I was at. So I said I started with 2-strand twist. I didn't know much about locks, so I really was just like going into uncharted territory. Hadn't had a relaxer prior in over 10 years. Was working from home. Was hoping and praying that I would be working from home during the perceived ugly phase. And I was really worried about not being attractive to the opposite sex. I didn't know how I would be perceived by men. And I was dating. Matter of fact, I took the time to actually, for the first time in my life, create a profile on a dating app, which I'm not going to say it was unsuccessful. I just wouldn't do it again. I've since deleted my dating app, but I met a few cool guys on there, and I met one long-term relationship that I'm still in. It's still progressing, so I would say it was successful. I just wouldn't, even if things were to go bad with the current relationship I'm in, I would not revisit a dating app because I've just heard too many horror stories. I'm gonna count myself as lucky that I was able to get out of that, get by without getting killed, chopped up in did I spit? Chopped up in a million pieces and put in a box and hidden somewhere. And just the other horror stories that I hear about online dating, I'm out of it. But anyway, so I was real concerned about that because you have to post pictures on online dating, and my hair was not to where I felt comfortable posting a picture of myself on a dating app. So I was using old pictures, and I remember a gentleman that the pandemic was still going on, and we had been talking for approximately maybe a month and a half over the phone, and then he wanted to meet me in person, and we met outside. We went to a park. It was beautiful. I remember that year because for some reason in May, in Michigan, May is a real hit or miss. It can be cold or it can be hot. It could be an extension of the winter or it could be an early summer. That's Michigan weather. You either get it's either hot or cold. So this particular May, it had warmed up. Like it was hot like the middle of the summer. So met up with him at a park, and I was really nervous. He is an older gentleman, we kind of had like a little picnic, which was really cute. And I know that the pictures I had posted online, it definitely was me. It looked like me, but my hair was different. And so when I met him, I was kind of scared. I was like, oh, he's gonna say something about my hair. He was like, your hair is cute. He actually liked it. And then I noticed that thereafter, like, I got a lot of attention. My current situation, I don't like talking too much about my dating life, but my current situation, he also likes my natural hair or my locks very much. Now, there was a point of contention, like I said, that perceived ugly phase where it's a lot of fuzziness because your hair hasn't locked. And there will be times my hair literally looked like, I mean, because I already have fine hair. And one of the influencers that I've been following faithfully since I started my lock journey, I just always remember her saying, don't put product in your hair. And not just her, I've heard that before, and it makes perfect sense because that's how you get build up. Even when you wash your hair, that stuff can get embedded in locked hair. That's just my particular take. People gonna be like, well, I put product in my hair and it don't do this. Do what you do, but my hair holds product, and I could see how that would be a problem later down the road, and I didn't want those problems. So I would refrain from using product as much as possible, to the point where I made myself give all my hair gels and everything. I think I gave them to my neighbor. She has like 3 daughters and she does hair. She braids a lot. So I gave all my hair products to her because I didn't even want to be tempted to use it in my hair. So there, I'm not using hair product. I have fine hair. It's soft, which means my hair get fuzzy. If I lay too hard on one side of my hair gonna look like just fuzzy. Now it doesn't because my locks have formed. But then, yeah, I was really getting a lot of fizz and it looked crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Some days I woke up, I was really not happy with the way I looked in terms of my hair. And I'm not gonna say, now this is a strange thing. I never thought about taking my locks down or out. I did, however, consider getting like some lock extensions, which I'm glad I decided against those. It's not for everybody. And when I heard about the weight that it can put on your hair, I already have issues with like even when I was younger, I don't like things pulling my hair. Never have. Braids, and I done got them all. I used to have zillions, box braids, Singali's twist, it's another name they call twist. I got them a couple times. But the point I'm making is that any tension on my hair heavier than what my actual hair is gonna cause breakage. So, and especially around my edges. And so I'm so glad I decided against that. So yeah, there was sometimes my friend would be like, what are you going to do with your hair? And I was like, what do you mean what I'm going to do with my hair? My hair is doing what it do. Mind your damn business. But he didn't understand the whole lock journey himself, even though he said he was supportive of it. And he also at one point expressed to me wanting to start locks himself. And I advised him against it because I'm like, look, if you can't handle my hair looking like this, you ain't going to be able to handle your own hair looking crazy. So this ain't for you. You ain't about this life. Continue to go get your hair cut. But I told him, I said, if you can get past that phase where it's going to look unkept to yourself as well as your family and friends, and you can be like, not care about what they say, like how I didn't care about what you said when I was going through that phase, then fine. By all means, do it. But if you can't get past that, then you shouldn't lock, because it's definitely going to be a phase of uncertainty is what I refer to it now. So I 2-strand twisted my hair. I was in that in-between phase, and I refer to that phase as in-between. It reminds me of like when you have a short haircut and then you try to grow out of that haircut. It's that phase where it's like real hit and miss with the hairstyles, like, because it's not long but it's not short. And especially for black hair, I mean, now there is, but when I was growing up, there were very few options for that in-between length of hair. So it was like you either had your hair short and relaxed, pencil curled, or you had a long, what we referred to back in the day as a wrap. I believe it's called a blowout now or whatever. But the point is, my hair looked real touch and go. It was real bad. So I'm not referring to it as real bad in terms of like saying my hair was bad. It was bad in terms of how I felt about it. I was like, I don't feel cute. But I was determined to stick to this journey because one, I've always wanted to do it. Two, some people just consider it a hairstyle, but it was more of a cultural statement to me. It's definitely a statement or a declaration to the world that I am black. And there's no mistaking that. I'm sure that's not amiss when people see me, but it's my way of affirming my blackness in the world. I am not trying to acclimate. I am not trying to, I'm at a loss of words. I'm not going to say I'm not, but I no longer feel like I need to acclimate. I need to accept one's standard of beauty as my own. This is my standard of beauty, which you're looking at now. I am my own standard of beauty. I don't attribute to anybody else's look. And I can acknowledge if someone is beautiful without trying to emulate what they look like. So I would never bash a weave or a wig because I love watching the girls apply these wigs. Honey, I live for it. I don't have the patience, but I admire the girls that do. And they look beautiful. All the different colors, all the different styles. But also I have a real appreciation for hair. Okay, I'm from Detroit, the hair capital. At one point in the time, Detroit was considered the black hair capital of the world because we have so many hairstylists and barbershops. I don't know if we still hold that unofficial title because I haven't been to a hair salon in years. I haven't went to a loctician to have my locks retwisted and maintained, but I haven't been to an actual hair salon. And I'm lying, I did go to a hair salon, but not for a service other than getting my natural hair touched up. Because the first loctician I went to, she is in a salon. I forgot about that. She has her own private room, but she is in a full service salon where they do other services besides what she does. So I'm saying all that to say that this journey for me was more so to test and push my own limits on my own self-love and self-acceptance. I'm like, if I can get through this, I truly do love myself, because I felt like I was so at one point concerned about what the opposite sex, what other women, just about what people in general thought about me. And this was a kind of a pivotal point in saying, I don't care what you think about me, how you think I look with this. And I could tell from like friends that would see me, especially when, like I said, when I first started them, I could tell by the looks that friends were giving me. A lot of people wouldn't say anything because they know how I am. They know who I am. So you talk slick to me, I'm going to talk slick to you. I can handle constructive criticism, but at the same time, this is my hair. You ain't got to walk around with it on your head. So why do you care? But nobody really said anything besides the person I'm dating. He sometimes will make comments about, well, I'm going to see, he did say, I'm going to share some with y'all. He did say something that burnt my biscuit one day. He comes to tell me, I'm going to ask the first lady at my church who twists her hair. Now, mind you, she's a nice woman. I ain't got nothing bad to say about her, but her locks are not what I would consider healthy. She has a lot of, how can I say it? You can tell she's retwisted probably more than she really should, especially for her being a woman of her age, because your hair doesn't grow back as fast once you get past a certain age. And I'm looking at him like, her locks are not my idea of healthy or well maintained. She probably just gets her hair twisted quite often. That does not mean her locks are the standard for what I want to achieve. And I had to check him like, look, if this ain't for you, if you don't feel like you want to be with me throughout this I'm not forcing you to be here because I'm not going to change my hair. This is the journey I'm on until my heart tells me otherwise. And right now, my heart tells me that this is a lifelong journey. I've made a commitment as right now at this point in my life that I am going to probably keep my locks forever. Will that always be like that? Obviously, I'm human. I'm a woman. I'm going to change my mind. But in my heart right now, I feel like I'm fully committed to this. Like I'm married to my hair. Because I feel like I've been through the worst. The beginning stages to me were the worst. So everything from here, it can only go up. So I'm just looking at my camera, making sure I'm not, cause child, one time I recorded a whole bunch of stuff and that thing was in slow motion and didn't have no sound on it. So heartbroken. Anyway, so like I said, what was I saying? Child, I done forgot what I was saying, which I do often. So y'all gonna have to stay with me or remind me what I was talking about, which is really hard to do because this is recorded. So I don't know how you gonna remind me what I was talking about. But yeah, so I've been on my lock journey now. It'll be 3 years in April. 3 is my lucky number for whatever reason. So I'm really looking forward to this year. I'm proud of myself. I've learned so much about myself during this journey. I would encourage anyone who can hear my voice and see this video, if you were considering making the lock journey, to get on it. Make the pilgrimage. And join us in the lock community. I just feel like I said, it was a catalyst in self-acceptance, where I would have been so concerned before about my new growth showing and I don't know, my locks not looking perfectly. If y'all hear my stomach being disrespectful, please ignore her. I am also practicing intermittent fasting, and intermittent is a hard word for me, so if I said it wrong, do not judge me. But yes, I'm intermittent fasting, and I've only had water and coffee. My stomach, she is not happy. I'm fine, but she's not. So you might hear throughout this video making a few grumblings, no pun intended. Like I said, so it was self-acceptance because I would be so worried about my hair being considered nappy before, whereas I'm like, well, your hair being coarse and very curly it probably works to my advantage in this case because of the locks. It will lock faster. But strangely enough, it took quite a while for my hair to actually lock. And what they refer to, I've heard referred to as bud, which I'm still not clear on what that means, but my hair up until just a few months ago still had curls on the end. And I don't know if you can see it. All of my hair might be budded now, what they refer to as budded, or I just say all locked. But yeah, there were some of my locks still had curls on the end because my hair is really coarse and really curly, but really small curls, really tight. As what my cousins used to tease me and say I had a little balled up fist on my head, but yeah, with some tight curls. I was like, man. And it was still curly on the end. And that was kind of frustrating because I was like, I'm ready for my hair to lock all the way down. Like, let's do this. And up until recently, I kept checking it every day. And that, like they say, when you're not looking for something, you'll find it. And then one day I woke up and all the curls, everything is locked to the end. Most of my locks are locked to the end. Might be one or two with a curly Q on the end, on the tip, but that's it. So I covered why I did it, when I did it, how long I've done it for so far. My maintenance is real simple. That's another reason why I was all for this journey, because I was looking for minimalism, or looking to implement minimalism in a lot of areas of my life, one of which is hair and makeup. Because I just feel like as women, some women don't mind, and I get it. We're entitled to that. For a lot of people, makeup and hair is a form of therapy. But for a lot of women, it's just more hoops to jump through in society. in order to gain the male gaze. And nothing wrong with that either. I'm a heterosexual woman. I want men to admire me, or the men I want him to love me and admire my beauty. I want to be beautiful to him. But going broke to do it is no longer high up on my priority list. It's just not. And so this lock maintenance to me should be very simple. Like I said, I want to talk about the influencers, the lock influencers that I enjoy and that I feel like have helped me. One young lady, her name is Day Locks, and I'm new to this YouTube thing, so if I can remember, I'm going to tag her in the description of the video, or the people that I list. But one is Day Locks, that's DAELOCS. I enjoy her content. I just enjoy her content. She not only talks about her hair journey, she talks about a lot of other things. She's a mother, she's a wife. She talks about luxury goods, and I enjoy that, even though I don't purchase luxury goods, but I like to watch. I'm happy for other people who can afford it. I'm no hater. Just because I'm cheap don't mean that other people ain't cheap with their money. And one day I said I am going to splurge on myself, but I am a single woman and I am a homeowner. And so a lot of times it's just always something around my house that needs repair, because I did purchase my home. It was a fixer-upper, and I've been in it approximately 6 years. And yes, there are things that I'm still working on, projects that I'm still trying to get finished up for the most part. And so I just always, like, I feel some kind of way about making luxury purchases, because I'm like, but my house needs this needs to be done, this needs to be done. And so I enjoy watching other women that are able to make those purchases. I'm here for you, sis. I am here. I'm celebrating. Yes. Treat yourself. So I live vicariously through them. But like, I enjoy Day Locks. Another person, a lock influencer that I enjoy watching, her name is Yanni, the lockologist. I think she, to me, has been the most, how can I say it? Following her direction has been most successful for me. No product, when retwisting with oil and water or aloe vera and water. If I'm not mistaken, I don't want to quote her, but I think she has advised against coloring locks, but she did say if you are going to color locks, she did recommend one particular brand of hair dye, because it doesn't contain ammonia. And I did purchase that particular hair dye, but I have yet to actually dye my hair. So I enjoy her content very much. I like her because she appreciates what she refers to as the disrespectful look. And the disrespectful locks are basically thick roots, I won't say unmaintained, but basically just letting the hair do what it does. I think sometimes a lot of people just, they do too much. It's, because you have to understand, locks were once if I'm not too clear on this because I haven't studied Rastafarian, but I believe they were a form of religion. You locked your hair if you were Rastafarian, which is a religion. I don't want to quote because I don't want nobody beating me up in YouTube verse. Cause y'all always want to fight on the internet and tell somebody what they said was wrong. Like, girl, I'm not Google. I ain't never said I was. But I understand about, you want somebody to speak only on subjects they're informed on. But honey, if people spoke only on subjects they were informed of, a lot of us wouldn't say shit. There it is. I mean, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be or try to get as informed as possible on a subject matter before you go speaking about it. So there. But, and so Yanni is she's from Trinidad, if I'm not mistaken. I just love her. I love her accent. I love her attitude. And she's Trinidadian, and I believe she did say that her parents subscribe to the Rastafarian way of life, and so that's how she is familiar with the whole locks. And I just enjoy her content. I think she's She's very knowledgeable. She also has a website. Her name is Yanni the Lycologist. I will tag her also below. And then she put me on to another young lady's page. Y'all, I can't think of her name. I'm going to try to look it up while I'm here sitting at my laptop. Oh, by the way, I'm also working from home. I know, child. I know, I got a lot of nerve. Recording a whole YouTube video while I'm working from home. Yes, I am. I think her name is Locklicious. Because she spoke of her, Yanni spoke of her when she was speaking of making your own hair gel. Yeah, she referred, or she actually tagged her in a video, and I'm gonna see if I can find her, because I would like to, because I watched her too. She has beautiful locks, like serious. It'll give you lock envy. That's a real thing too, which I'm sure it is with anything. People get envious. They see other people. They're like, why my hair don't look like yours? I've had older women walk up to me. A lot of older women like my hair too. They love it. I've had a few young girls or girls my age or younger give me a shout out, but a lot of older women come up to me like, how did you get your hair like that? And I don't.
Just wanted to start a business.
Okay, that was, yeah, I'm doing too much. Let me see if I got, because I really want to tag her. I really want y'all to show her some love. Is it Lock Crush? Let me see. If I had my mouth open while I was doing that search, that's how I think. My mouth be wide open while I'm trying to figure stuff out. Like, I'm so funny. Let me see. Is this Lock Crush? Yeah, this is her. So Lock Crush is spelled LOCCRUSH. And I just want to make sure Yanni, the Lycologist, her name is spelled, just in case you that lazy, you don't feel like going to the description box. Her name is spelled YANNITHELOCOLOGIST. Yanni the Lycologist. And the other young lady's name, as I said before, is Daylox, and her name is spelled DAELOCS. And I will link all of them below in the description. But they've been very instrumental in just, yeah, a good influence on me on my hair journey. And I appreciate that there are women out there putting this type of content out for those, because I don't know nobody else that's locked. I knew one other girl. I worked with her. I haven't seen her in years. I don't know anybody currently that's locked. Nobody. My god sister, she's been locked for probably over 20 years, but I haven't spoken to her recently. She's lived out of state. She lives out of state. I don't speak to her often. She works a lot, but yeah, she's had locks for, but I don't have anybody right now in my immediate circle that's locked. And you know, I love the internet for this alone. The communities, the people it brings together that you wouldn't normally have known if not for the internet, if not for YouTube, if not for Instagram. Like I said, I don't subscribe to other social media platforms, but I can appreciate what they do. And I do appreciate, and I do use quite often, YouTube. So check out those 3 women on YouTube. And so I don't know if is there anything else to cover. My hair, Oh, I got a meeting in 15 minutes, child. So yeah, I gotta hurry up. So my routine is when my scalp feels dry, I oil it. I wash it once a week with Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap. That is something that Yanni the Lycologist suggested, because it's good at removing oil and buildup. What else do? I oil my scalp with olive oil and black seed oil. Yeah, I oil my scalp with olive oil and black seed oil. What else do? I apply tea tree oil and lavender oil to my hair because, sometimes your hair gets wet, and if it doesn't dry properly, you can't get mold in your hair. And now I've only had an instant where I smelled my hair like it smelled like wet clothing or something. I've only had that happen once. Like, for some reason, there's a part of my hair and I know this to be true because when I was going to hair salons, I can always remember this one part of my hair that the stylist would be paying extra attention to when blow drying my hair, or whenever I got sat under the dryer. It would be the part of my head that took the longest to dry. They would, how the stylists come around, they pat your head, see if it's dry. That area, she'd always be like, it's not dry, you got to go back under the dryer, and I'd be about to cry. So it still happens. Like, this part of my hair just doesn't dry as fast as the other parts of my hair. And I don't know if it hadn't dried properly, and it was starting to, it's just like, I don't say mildew, but it's something like when you can smell moisture when water has sat for a while, like in a basement. I got that one time, and then I looked up how to keep that from happening if your hair doesn't dry as thoroughly as it should. And tea tree oil and lavender oil really help that. I have been to two locticians, one man, one woman, for my retwist. The young lady was nice, but I did not like the salon environment, and she was a little heavy-handed. And I don't feel like she was trying to soften up, because the few times I mentioned it to her, I feel like she almost had a little bit of an attitude, like, girl, you grown. But like, girl, you're not about to be pulling my head and snatching my scalp off, honey. I done got to 40-something this long with my edges. You ain't about to take them from me. So I found another stylist, and it's a man. Haven't been to him in a few months just because nothing that he did. I just felt like I don't need to get retwisted that often. I feel like that contributes to a lot of loss of edges, thinning of locks, all this stuff that I don't want to happen to my hair. That retwisting too often, like, the true essence of locks is for you to just let them be, let them grow. But I understand the society we live in, our hair may not always be acceptable, not only to the others, but to our own people, which is really sad, but whatever. Yeah, because that was another thing. I was more worried about criticism and not being accepted by my own, as opposed to them, which, when I mean them, I mean those of other cultures, those of other races. And it seems sometimes that black people are often the most critical of natural hair. Like, the movement is catching on, and a lot more people are getting locks and wearing their hair natural, but a lot of, I'll say that for another video. But like I said, I was really worried about what people would think. I have really coarse hair, if you want to call it the N-word, but I always have. My mother fought with my hair all my childhood. Yes, every night she had to prove to my hair that she was the boss. With that brush and that goody brush and that comb, that straightening comb and that Blue Magic grease. And she was going to tame it. She wasn't going to let it tame her. Girl. And so I've been, even as a grown woman, I've been ridiculed or teased about my very coily, kinky hair by what I would now have to look back and say a very colorist, and I don't know if texturist is a word. I don't want to make that a thing because I don't like creating more division amongst black people. But yeah, there are some people that are all about the light skin and the good hair. I ain't got the good hair. I don't really consider myself light skinned because I know people lighter than me, but to others I'm considered of a lighter hue. But yeah, and in the workplace, I had somebody, an instance where we were in a department meeting and a young lady was sitting behind me, and I believe I heard murmurings, and I was this was around the time I was growing out of a relaxer. So it was about 2008, 2010, and the natural hair movement, to my knowledge, I wasn't aware of it. I had seen some girls wearing their hair natural, but it wasn't what it was today. So I don't think it was fully accepted or embraced as much as it is now, back in 2008 or 2009. What I'm getting at is that she thought it was funny to take pictures of my hair in the back, which black people often refer to as a kitchen. My hair was very, very tightly coiled and kinky, and she thought it would be funny, I guess, to make fun of my hair in its natural state. So shout out to her for being a dumbass, because that fueled her ignorance fueled my choice to go natural also. Like, this is for people. I feel like it was a middle finger to everyone who can't accept themselves in their natural state, but I can. And with that being said, I think I may wrap this video up because I don't really think I have anything else to say. I've told you about my hair routine, which isn't much at all. When I wash my hair once a week, I try to let it air dry, and I try not to go to bed with wet hair. I know that's a cardinal rule. You're never supposed to go to bed with wet hair. But sometimes I just be tired. And if I wash my hair at night, that warm water coming over me just makes me tired. And sometimes I will go to bed. But I wrap my hair up in a towel. But for the most part, I try to stay up until I feel like my hair is fully dry. And I do not use a hair dryer. I use a 100% cotton towel to dry my hair. Yeah. I can't think of anything else, but I wanted to share that all with you. Because I see a lot of people have these videos about their natural hair journey, and if anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'll try to address them in my next YouTube video. Until then.